I'm like shaking from that drive. That is so steep. That was a scary drive. Meaning can't turn the car on. So we're now stuck out the bush. All packed up camp, heading down out of here along Sherwood Road, and we're going to check out another waterfall this morning. First stop of the day is going to be Scouts Falls. Have a swim there. Trying to get there a little bit early because I think it gets pretty crowded there, and it's Monday, public holiday today. Made it to Scouts Falls, maybe 15-minute walk up the creek, a little bit of a walk, but beautiful spot here. There's not heaps of water flowing at the moment, it's just pretty dry out the bush. We haven't had rain for a while, but it is still flowing, and that water's so clear under that waterfall. Made the walk back out of the waterfall. The crowds were getting insanely busy. As we left, we sort of had the place ourselves for a little bit there. By the time we made the walk back out, we passed half a dozen groups on the way in. There was about nearly 15 cars out in the car park. So that place gets very, very busy. But you know, it is a public holiday, so I guess it's to be expected. Now we shot back out to Glenray, down to Nina Glen, turned left on the Bucker Road, and we're back down near the Pacific Highway. And we just turned on the Eastern Boundary Trail, and we're going to take on, is it Eno Trail, I think? Which I've never done before, but I've heard it's a bit of a fun four-wheel drive track out here, so we're going to go check that out now. So we have made the start of Eno Trail, and it's not too steep. It's definitely a bit steep. It's not really that real steep stuff, but some big ruts and holes on the way up that hill. Real big. Just let tyres down to about 20. I haven't gone super low, just started about 20 just because we got some bit of tar and dirt in between these tracks. I didn't want to go right down, but I might have to. I'll just see how much they grip first. But yeah, it's going to be really slow crawling, picking those right lines, because if you get it wrong, it's going to be big falls in those, big falls in those ruts and maybe panel damage. Oh, this is definitely a interesting one to contend with here. Big hole, big rut. You got to get in the hole and then straddle the rut, and it's just all over the shop. That was a big wheel left, boys. Oh, okay. I'm on a rut again now. I don't know where I am. I just got to keep straddling. All I saw was sky, and I'm still in a big rut here somewhere. I'm gonna turn the car from where what's going on. Right, here we go up the next bit. I'll try, and I think I know sort of roughly. I'm somewhere here, somewhere. Just the ruts are insane. across them, so I'm going to have to do a monster straddle here now. It's a rough one without a spotter. As soon as you start to like get any fall, you're like, oh, am I in the rut? Alright, change the cameras again for the next bit. Definitely got to be willing to put your car on the line a little bit on this track. Like, it's not extreme, but those ruts and holes are decent. You really got to get in them and navigate across them and all that. And probably need a locker or a hell of a lot of suspension travel. Alright, that's us up the top of NO Trail. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's only a short track, but what a fun track that was. Definitely challenging. Pulled up the top of the track here, just pulled over in the shade. We're going to have a little bit of lunch. It's quite hot today. I think it's about nearly 30 degrees. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do after that. We'll see how we go. Now, the new wheels seem to be going pretty good so far. So they're the ROH black alloys. They're the Vapors, I think they were. So they're 16x8 inch rim on a positive 30 offset. The best thing about it is it has stopped the rubbing on the chassis in the front from that positive 45 before. So I can go full lock both ways now and not touch the chassis. There seems to be very minimal scrubbing. I haven't had to cut anything in the front. It seems to be the odd angle, like downward pressure on a sort of half turn, you'll get that bit of scrape on the front wheel arch. Now in the back, it is still touching up in here. Up in there, it's still touching above the wheel arch. Now that's because I have the rear sway bar out, so there's heaps of flex in the rear. Oh, and the tyres with those rims that I'm sure someone will ask, they're 285/75 tyres on, obviously on the 16-inch rims, about a 33-inch tyre. Nitto mud terrain tyres, I've been happy with, they've been a great tyre, but I've never had a mud tyre that I've hated. I don't know, they all seem pretty similar to me, to be honest. I do find it hard to tell a big difference between the mud tyres. Guys having avocado toast for lunch, I might make myself a wrap.
I think you just said pa.
I said kai, didn't I?
I heard you say pa.
And then I might have some egg. Oops, I made a mess of that. Egg, avocado, cheese,
bacon,
cucumber,
and bacon, and
on my wrap.
And salami,
ham, pork, beef, chicken, fish. After that NO trail, we sort of followed Boyd's Road and dropped back down the mountain or escarpment, back down to Eastern Boundary Trail, which is down the bottom. All these tracks run up sort of up the mountain off it. This is Nogra they're on now. Never done it. I don't really know what it's like, but I swear I remember it being mentioned somewhere before, but hasn't been much at all so far. I think we're nearly at the top. There's that one little section I filmed, but it's been sort of fairly steep up this last bit, but it's just pretty smooth, but now it's fairly rocky up this bit. We're going to have to give it a little bit. This is an interesting one. After that Nogger, we went on to Beauty Zone, followed that down. Now we're coming up out the other side. I think it's Wedding Creek Road or something, and that was really steep down there. This is really steep with a bloody monster off Campbell step on it, and then you just got big drop and big drop either side. That's a scary step. I'm just going to get all the recovery gear ready in case I need it, because I may be winching up this, and when you're on your own, your car's on a vertical hill, it's not a good time to then get ready to set up a recovery preset. That was a drive. Wow, that was committing. That was a bit scary. No need for the recovery equipment, just send it up. I had to hold that bit of momentum to sort of bounce it up, and that just is so loose. It's so dry out here at the moment, it just churns it up. But then once you get on those big rocks, those big steps, you get that bit more traction. That was crazy. That's definitely the most intense drive of the trip so far. Where we're planning on camping tonight is like a rainforesty area, and there's not much good firewood there. This is real dry out here. A few nice bits of dead wood on the side there, so might chop a few up now. Oh, so dusty. We're off that track now, just about to hit the main Sherwood Road again. It's nearly 4 o'clock. I think we might just head for camp, because camp's probably a 40-minute drive from here. We're going to go to a different part of Coffs Harbour. One where I've camped quite a few times before, one of my favourite areas on the creek. That way we can get to camp early, light the fire, have a swim and relax for a while.
Man, one night. How was that an Look, it just makes things terrible.
Oh, alright, we have made it to camp. Set up here, tent, fire, beautiful creek. After we left, came off that Wedding Creek Road, headed Sherwood Road back out of there, went to Coffs, we went to Woolies, got some food, went to a fuel station, stocked up on fuel, and we also got dinner. Pizza for dinner, since we're in town. Couldn't be bothered to cook. And how many nights have been on the road now, Kai?
What?
This would be night number 8. Night number 8 on the road. Kai already ate his pizza. We've got a pretty damn good spot here on the river though. I won't say where this spot is. So I've been trying to keep the information down a little bit on these videos. Kind of as I'm going, putting up stories on Instagram, I do get quite a few people sort of say to me, oh, you know, don't say the location of that spot please. Which I do kind of understand their point. I want to like give people information, but I don't want to just give away everyone's favourite spots as well. It's a bit of a hard one. But yeah, I'm not going to give away any information on this spot. I'm always happy to give away tracks we go on and that, because they're just, you know, tracks people go drive, but the camp spots and the sort of quiet creek spots to yourselves and that, they're ones you're better off finding yourself rather than me telling everyone where they are. Time for a quick swim to finish the day off. So quiet out here now. It's a bit hard to see, I'll show in the morning, but this water is some of the clearest water you've ever seen. So clear. It's just gone dark, well maybe about 20-30 minutes ago now, and this place just comes to life. with creatures. There's eels swimming up that creek. There's frogs all over the ground everywhere. I'll show you, like you can't walk on the ground without getting, like, just stepping on frogs. Look, like, frog, 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 2 frogs. Everywhere you look, there's frogs. And then over the other side of the bank, we heard a bit of commotion and this weird noise, and we could see moving over there. So I walked over, and a snake has just captured and eaten a frog. And I think it's a brown snake. I'm not very good with snake types, but it's brown. And so, not the best to have a brown snake around camp, but it's currently very distracted with a massive frog in its mouth, so I don't think it's going to be a threat tonight. I don't think it's going to be too worried tonight about coming over here, capturing more frogs or getting under our feet. But I'll walk over the creek. There it is. It's not in its mouth now, but I can see it down along its body down there. But there it is. Just ate a frog. Maybe coming looking for more. Now it's looking at me. The camera's zoomed right in, so I'm still about 3 meters from it. Definitely wouldn't want to be any closer, and it's yeah, definitely a bit slow moving since it just ate a frog. So yeah, guy's going to bed. He doesn't want to be down here in any part of it, and I can't walk around without stepping on frogs. Look how clear this water is. It's definitely some of the clearest water you'll ever see. There's our camp just back up there along the creek. Got sort of all this water flowing along next to us. So peaceful out here this morning. You just hear all these birds all around you everywhere. I don't know what happened to that snake. It was over on that bank. When I still went to bed last night, it was just laying there, but it's gone now. It's kind of good we have a shady spot here because we're going to camp over there a bit, but that's blasting the sun now, and these days are pretty warm, so it's nice to have the shade in the morning. We've only got one or two more nights this trip. I'm not sure because I don't know our plans. We've got to be home by Thursday, and today's Tuesday. We're going to do some driving, exploring out in this area today, and then we'll camp again somewhere tonight. And we may do a bit of a drive along the beaches on the way home or something, but I'm still working all that out. This trip where we sort of were meant to end up sundown and Bald Rock National Park and all that, and then realised I was on the other side of the border and couldn't go, so ended up all this Coffs area. It just amazed me how much more stuff is in this Coffs to do that I just haven't seen or haven't been to before. It's just amazing, like spectacular area for full driving and camping and swimming and sightseeing and tracks, and it's just everything. We packed up camp, followed that creek track out of there, sort of wound our way, and then we pulled up at our favourite swimming spot. It's just tiny little waterfall or whatever you want to call it, down to this crystal clear swimming hole. As I've said, it's reasonably dry out here at the moment. Normally this stuff's got more water flowing through it, but still good. Woo! how nice is this car? That was so nice, that swim, especially in this warmer weather. The plan now is to head out of here. We're going to head the back way out because we don't really want to go all the way back around through Coffs. Sort of quicker to go this way, well not quicker, shorter, but it's the back way which requires some forward driving and exploration and a few interesting tracks. Let's see how we go. These tracks are so steep out here. Now we've gone from very steep, but you know, they're just kind of smoothy hills with a few ruts and holes, to extremely steep with monster ruts and holes. This step down the bottom here is quite big, and then I don't know, it's not too bad up there, it's a fair drop. Like, you're gonna have to really get it up there, but this bottom bit, it's a big step, but I think I'll manage it. I'm like shaking from that drive. That is so steep, and that step there, I couldn't go straight up the middle of it. Like, it's too big to step up, so I had to get up on the left hand bank and put the car on an angle, but then you got to swing it back across before you hit that big hump there. So I was just first gear, that rear locker, and I just had to like commit and send that. If the back didn't kick up with that power and speed, like, I just had to really give it to it to make sure it got up, because if it didn't, and then I'm trying to turn, then the car's going to be sideways kicking back. It's not what you want. Oh, and then up the top there, you couldn't see on the camera, but I was just like roaring up that top bit trying to get up there. It's just so steep. That was a scary drive. This hill just keeps going and going. There's so many bits I haven't filmed. I've just been sending it up. You cannot crawl this. It's just too steep. It's very loose. You got to hold that bit of momentum. Track's getting like less and less use as well. After that big step down the bottom, I'd say that's where a lot of people bailed out. Hopefully we can get through. We're up off that insane hill, back up on the sort of mainish forestry road. We're way up in the mountains now. Like, that was just up, all the way up to the top of this mountain range. We have a little bit of lunch here and then we will keep going. How's the trip going, Kai? What do you reckon of that hill? Perfect. G'day.
What are you up to?
Just out forward driving, just having a bit of lunch here, pulled up on the side of the track.
Oh, yeah. This mob's just sent me a fax, which said CL61LJ, which is my number plate, is ready to collect, has been fixed. They got a bill here of $187, they're saying. Would sound like it was something minor then.
Yeah, I guess like a cable or a pin or something. That was Dad on the phone then, because today's Tuesday, so today's the first working day back. and the dealership he dropped it off to in Coffs, which is the Isuzu dealer, I guess. I don't even know where it went. I assume it went to the Isuzu dealer. But they've already got it fixed and back on the road by lunchtime. They rang him up 7 o'clock this morning because he'd left his key and details at the door box. Rung him up, it's all fixed, only cost 180 bucks. He hasn't found out what it is yet, but he's going to go pick it up tomorrow. But he's pretty stoked about that. Car's back on the road already. Got him sorted nice and quick, so he's going to come back to Coffs tomorrow, pick it up. The other thing that is interesting is this is Devo's Trail, it's called. And I saw it on a map, but it looks like it only gets motorbike use. But that brings you down into the Promised Lands and the back of Bellingen. So basically connects Coffs Harbour between Bellingen straight across the mountain range rather than going back out the highway, which would be an unreal track to drive. So I just quickly put something on a Facebook group. There's Coffs 4x4 track reports, which is the sort of best Facebook group for this area for working out stuff about Coffs 4-wheel driving, camping related. But ask them, and I just got a couple of answers already, and they said that it is undrivable. It's just destroyed, because on my map I can see it's extremely steep. But motorbikes can drive it, but car, you're going to need a chainsaw, machete, everything to try and clear it back to a drivable track. And it's just like, apparently it's just insane, just big logs and just washed away, massive ruts, holes, just insane. That's a bit of a shame. It would have been a good, you know, that'd be an awesome track if it was open and drivable. Yeah, we're navigating our way out of that area, that peak trail, which runs all the way down off the mountain ranges, and then we've hooked a left. I don't know, I haven't been filming much, been going through a bit of hectic stuff. Now we're over off like New England's road, and now coming down Dump Trail, which is a little bit interesting. Some fairly decent sized holes and ruts here, and here goes a wheel in the air a bit, maybe. Yeah, we're slowly making our way out of here via every ridiculous track I can come across. Oh, look at that section there. I think I'm just going to come down those ruts. It's going to belly out and diff out, but at least that's safe. Trying to straddle up there is a bit unsafe. With no one else around. Look at me sweating, it's so hot. Coffs is just insane. There's so many tracks out here, and every which way you turn it's just a hectic track. It's not a safe place to explore if you don't know what you're doing. You gotta be very careful out here. Thankfully I know the area reasonably well. I do know the names of the bad ones. I knew the Dump Trail was bad-ish, but I didn't know how bad. But I knew not to go down Koala, which is the next one over, which is ridiculous from what I've heard.
To do.
Tell me how to stay out of the rut.
Well,
This tyre has got to come down here. Yeah, not in the rut. So that tyre needs to be that side. And yeah, if we fall in then we'll die, so don't get it wrong.
Will we actually do?
Nah. Well, I'd rather not fall in. I got the rear locker in to keep me nice and stable if there's any rear wheel lift. And then I got Kai guiding me over this rut because I do not want to fall in it. Give him a bit of practice. But yeah, you don't want to fall in this rut. But I'm just getting him to help guide me over it. How am I looking? He looks so nervous.
Can't really see anymore. I can't see.
Nice job. Now we gotta do the next bit.
Well, that's just great.
Alright, let's have a look at this one, because this is monster.
Yeah, why do we go this way?
You told me to.
I did.
You're like, Dad, let's go down the silliest track you can find. So, what way are we going to go on this one? So we get the driver's wheel up there and the passenger wheel in the middle. Nice and slow. My driver's wheel's got to be up there.
Okay, the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Oh god. You want? Okay.
The back kind of fell in on that, but then the front still stayed up there and it was a bit sideways, but I don't know, that wasn't, it was alright. Boom, 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 there's the, I think that's the main road, that little light bit down there.
Main road?
Yeah.
Main road. What?
Where am I going to go on this one?
You got more room over there.
Yeah, but I think that I'll have more chance of keeping the driver's wheel in that middle bit.
Yeah, true, but you have got more room over there, just saying. Oh my god, what the hell? What the hell? What has just happened?
Now we're down a dump trailer, which is ridiculous.
It's actually called dump trail.
Yeah, it's called dump trailer.
Is that way?
Probably because you have to dump your car at the garbage tip after you finish the track. Because your car's going to be wrecked trying to get up that hill. Look at that. Yeah, we'll keep on cruising and get out of here. Made it to camp. That was a fairly long day of driving in the end. It's about 6 o'clock now. We, after came out of dump trail onto like New England's Road, I think it is, out to the highway at Coffs. And then just ducked up along the highway a bit and came in the back of Valerie and that. Out behind Bellingen, out onto the Never Creek out here. Yeah, we've been here a few times before now. Found ourselves a beautiful spot here on the edge of the creek. That's the good thing about having a rooftop tent. You can just sort of park on the edge of the creek on the rocks and pop it up and you're nice and comfy there compared to trying to get a swag down on the rocks here. Oh man, it is hot. We need a swim. The camp's all set up. Fire. I don't even know why I got fire going. I'm boiling, but it's going to get cool off soon.
It's not actually boiling, Dad. You've just been cutting up wood.
It's just me.
Yes.
Fire. Tent's all set up there. Gonna have a bit of food. What an awesome spot this is on the creek. There's something about camping next to water, it just makes it so much better, so much more relaxing. And it's just so much easier. You can just have a swim when you're right next to the creek and you can grab the water out there to use around camp and that. Today is probably the last sort of day of the trip, I'd say. We'll probably camp again tonight, but then we'll just head home in the morning. Today will be the last day. We're going to head out to the beaches, I think, but this wind's already picking up a bit out here, so it might be windy at the beach. The reason I got these camp chairs now, not the drifter ones, which are they're much more comfy, but these ones fold up this way compared to the flat way which the drifter ones do, and they fit nicely in Dad's car but they don't fit nicely in mine anywhere, because these ones I just keep in here down between the fridge and the box all the time, but these ones are just about falling apart now, so I'm going to have to get some new ones in this style. But that's why I don't always have the drifter ones with me. I'd prefer to, but they just don't fit anywhere properly. Once again, the car's taken another beating on another trip, and it's still going strong. I don't know how I haven't broken a CV or a steering arm or something in the driveline on a trip yet on one of these harder tracks. I do drive it sensibly, but at times I definitely put some stress on them, but never broken a driveline part on a trip. I must say I'm loving the rooftop tent more and more on these trips. These sorts of places, you're up off the ground, up off the rocks, you just got a nice comfy soft bed up there. Driven some harder tracks on this trip, not extreme but definitely harder ones, and hasn't really seemed to have been a hindrance on those steep Coffs tracks on the angles and that. Definitely going to be sticking with it for a while yet. And also the benefit of it being a hard top, which I'm immediately working out, is I smashed my way through the bush and trees and tracks and vines and that all over the place, and a fabric one I reckon I might have ripped by now, whereas that's obviously pretty tough up there. Swim at this Never Creek before we head off to the beaches. It's already warming up. This creek sort of runs in towards Glenipher and Bellingen, and there's just heaps of swimming spots all along. It gets super popular and busy out here. There's just cars driving past here everywhere today. We just found a quiet spot to ourselves on the edge of the road. It just needs a bit of rain to clean it up, but once this creek cleans up, it's just so clear. It's like the clearest, nicest water you'll ever see. But just sort of very, I don't know, it's covered in a lot of leaves and all that at the moment just because of the winds and no rains. It needs to be cleaned up a bit. Alright, change of plans. We're back home. After we left Never Creek, we shot through over to Southwest Rocks, but by the time we got there, that northeaster was just hammering in there. It was like a hurricane wind. Clouds are coming over. It just wasn't nice at the beach at all, and figured there's no point hanging around the beaches and camping there tonight just for the sake of it. Figured we'd just come home and start unpacking and relax for a couple of days. I absolutely love those trips, they're so much fun, but I come home exhausted. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm going to do it every time, but between the filming and running around and sort of just doing everything myself, I'm just exhausted by the time I get home. So it is always good to get home and relax a bit. They're definitely not relaxing holidays, but they are amazing fun holidays. Not sure where we're going to head off to next after this trip now. I'll have to work it out. Got no future plans coming up yet, but I got a hell of a lot of editing to do. I've got probably about 10 backed up videos to edit at the moment, so I've got plenty to keep me busy while I'm at home. Now I'm going to sort it out this week, but I'm going to sort out those extra videos for Patreon, so they probably would have already done them for the previous couple of trips, and I'll do it for this trip too. I'm just going to somehow figure out a way on Patreon, just put extra information up on there for all these trips, like either coordinates or map locations or details, just to help people out if they want to do those trips, just to give people on there something a little bit extra. So if you want to head over there, you can yeah, check that out. So cool. So cool. This trip is just our little update. No, not yet. I got to you got to unbuckle the two front ones. Spots like this, just up off the ground, up